Fullerton is invited to move the motion. The motion will be moved by Honorable Fullerton and seconded by Honorable Gagdi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm Abubakar Fullerton. I represent Plenary Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Jigawa State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues.
Oh, point of order. Honorable Osai, what's your point of order, please?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Distinguished honorable colleagues. I remain Honorable Osai, Nicholas Osai, and I represent the good people of Ndoko Kwani Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, by the name, by the privilege of the chair.
Honorable Mani, take your seat. Honorable Khadija Bukara by Ibrahim, take your seat. Honorable Mani, take your seat.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have come to enrich the body of knowledge of the Parliament on issues of constitutional matters. My reason for this, Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues, you will recall that there was a time when there was forest guard enacted by bylaws because it's within the jurisdictions and it's a residual matters. Mr. Speaker, when we talk about hunters, they are regulated by bylaws and not by law enacted by National Assembly. Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues, with the assessment of the exclusive list and concurrent list, that does not fall within the ambit and the circumference of the National Assembly or even the jurisdictional range of the House of Assembly. It is within the range of the local. We're going to 12 years in the Parliament today. I believe I should bring this to bear for us to interrogate it. I think that's my sense of raising this point of order. I do submit, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Toby.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, my name is Toby Okechukwu. I represent an area of Woji River Federal Constituency from Enugu State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, well, the matter that is before us is, if we look at the prayer of the motion, it's a recommittal of some clauses that the House, in its wisdom, jettisoned the last time. And there must have been some reasons for so doing on the issue of Nigerian Hunters and Forest Security Service establishment bill. Well, there is some wisdom. There is some wisdom in what Honorable Osai has said. But we want to know, Mr. Speaker, the House will be in a position to rescind its own earlier decision from the point of knowledge. And I'm aware and I'm sure that we should not in any way, form, or manner undermine subnational governments. This federation is top-heavy. and we must do everything that things that can be handled by subnational governments are farmed out to them. We should not by any means or manner try to appropriate what they can do. But more importantly, Mr. Speaker, what is on the floor is that clauses 7, 8, 10, 21, and 22 should be recommitted by this House against its earlier decision. And the responsibility to bring us up to speed in this matter is farmed out to the House Committee on Rules. It is their duty, it is their responsibility to bring us up to speed on knowledge. Why should we resign our earlier decision? What is the reason in detail for us to go back on what we decided? So we want to know what those clauses are. We want to know what those clauses discussed and why they want us to resign that decision. We can't be doing so during consideration. We have to do so now because we are recommitting it for consideration. There must have been a reason why we jettisoned them. So we have to know the reason why we have to take a reverse decision. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Any other contribution?
Mr. Speaker, if I may.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Clauses 7, 8, 10, 21, and 22 were not jettisoned. The decision was that we should cross-check whether those clauses have contradicted existing laws of the various security agencies. And if cross-checked, and there are no contradictions between those clauses and that of the existing security agencies. Fundamentally, Mr. Speaker, this bill seeks to strengthen existing legislations on national security. Our forests have been taken over by bandits and agents of destruction. I don't agree with Honorable Osai Nicholas Osai that the National Assembly has no powers to legislate on issues bordering on national security. Accordingly, Mr. Speaker, I urge us to resume consideration of those clauses, Mr. Speaker. I so submit.
Mr. Speaker, sir. Honorable Speaker, I represent Marte Monguno, Nganze Federal Constituency of Borno State. Mr. Speaker, I beg to disagree in total with the submissions made by the sponsor of this motion. One, he's making his argument on the basis that matters regarding forestry are in the exclusive legislative list, and therefore this august assembly cannot assume jurisdiction and make...
He said they were in residual. Yeah. Therefore, they belong exclusively to the states.
Mr. Speaker, be that as it may, I still wish to disagree that these matters regarding forestry are not in the residual list. They are in the concurrent legislative list. And therefore, this august assembly has jurisdiction to make laws with regards to it. It is only that where laws that were made by the state houses of assembly are in contradiction with the laws that were made by this assembly. Those laws that were made by the state houses of assembly are not correct to the extent of their inconsistency with the laws passed by this assembly. So as such, this assembly can proceed, assume jurisdiction, and make laws with regard to forestry matters because they are in the concurrent legislative list, and therefore we can assume jurisdiction and make laws pursuant to that fact. And we should not reverse our decision. We are in order.
Hold on a second, please. Honorable Whip, where in the concurrent list is it?
It's not there.
Beyond the concurrent list, which I don't think is part of the concurrent list, I think the word, the title of the bill, forest security. The word security, I think, covers the jurisdiction of the National Assembly. So we're not legislating on forests. We're legislating on security of forests. And it is a notorious fact today, the most famous forest in Nigeria, even a 5-year-old child knows the name Sambisa. So it will be akin to saying that we cannot legislate on the security in Sambisa forest because that's where everything is happening. So I understand that. I think Honorable Osai raises a very fundamental constitutional objection or issue to this. But I think this House, if we can hide under the security aspect of it. That's my opinion.
Mr. Speaker, yeah, you can legislate concurrently, but we must be prudent in doing so. If we want to legislate for hunters, as per the association, and practitioners of their trade who are doing their vocation, Mr. Speaker, we can legislate. We have legislated for accountants, we have legislated for lawyers, other professions. We can do so. Mr. Speaker, we cannot have a combination of hunters who are practicing their trade and vest them with the responsibility of security of the forest. Mr. Speaker, we must be clear-headed in our decisions. Multiplicity of agencies. We have been arguing that subnational government should be able to operate state police. And you are now appropriating and telling people who are hunters, who should be practicing their trade, to come and take over the toga of security. All this multitude of these things is what is causing confusion in Nigeria. Let us legislate for them as hunters. Let them go and practice their trade. And secure the forest for them to practice it, and not for them to secure.
No, you're losing me there. So we can legislate for hunters.
Yes, but not for them to do security. Should legislate for them to have the safety to operate their trade, as ensured by security operatives. Don't combine it. We can legislate for hunters as an association, like we have Chartered Institute of Bankers or whichever distinct, by Act of Parliament. But Mr. Speaker, it's not like having agriculturists, engineers, or we legislated for current. Meanwhile,
Okay, so this bill is seeking to legislate for hunters
to do security work.
To do security work.
Exactly.
Okay, is that what it is about? I'm not.
Yes. We shouldn't be doing that.
So they're not separate items of the bill. They're. Honorable Fulata. So what Honorable Toby is saying that You have powers to regulate for hunters. You have powers to regulate for security matters. But you do not have powers to regulate for hunters to become security agents. Is that what this bill is about? Are we trying to make hunters security personnel?
We are not making them security personnel. We want to make them agents of information. Agents of information for the security personnel, because they are permanently in the forest, and therefore they are in a position to discover wrongdoings in those forests, and therefore they can relate those information to security agencies to take action. We're not asking them to take to be security agents at this, but information agents for security agencies. That's the import of this.
To be able to give information to security agents.
Actionable information. Yes, sir.
Silence, please. FCT.
So, I'm trying to get the connection. Do we have to legislate for people to give information? What stage is this? What stage is this now? If we recommit this now, it's a motion, right? So it's a bill. So if we recommit it, then it goes. What stage will it be? What stage is the bill now?
Mr. Speaker, the bill went to the committee of the whole, and most of the clauses have been considered already. But for clarity, we are asked to find out whether those clauses have infringed on the duties of the national security agencies.
We're asking if what?
Whether those clauses have contradicted the functions of the police, civil defense, the military, and so forth.
Okay, so if we recommit it now, then you are bringing it back for reconsideration.
Yes, sir.
So maybe I'm thinking maybe it is at that stage we can now look at it.
Yes, sir.
Instead of killing it now, if we can now look at it, because now nobody knows what that bill says.
The House will still have the opportunity. Members, Mr. Speaker.
Nobody knows. I don't even know what the.
Yes, sir. Members will still have the opportunity for the consideration of those clauses to see whether they are relevant. If the bill can be killed at that stage.
Can we recommit it?
Yes, sir.
And bring this matter.
Yes, sir.
For consideration on Thursday. I want to be here.
Yes, sir.
I want to be here when it's reconsidered.
Yes, sir.
No, Mr. Speaker, the House, the committee of the whole, was in this state of dilemma the last time. That was why the House gave that responsibility to the House Committee on Rules, led by the chairman. Now, they have looked at it and they have come to a resolution. What we want to know, prior to recommitting it, he should explain to us what those clauses said and how they came to the conclusion that there was no infringement and it should not do any injury.
Okay,
we
so
don't want to go to the committee.
I think Honorable Toby has a point, because I don't know what clause 8, clause 9, I don't know what it says. So we are going to take time here today. Do you have those clauses with you? Can you read those clauses one by one? That will now inform the House whether we should recommit them or not. Otherwise, we're just recommitting numbers. We're not recommitting content.
Mr. Speaker, the bill is not here with me. I would like to step down, I'll bring it up tomorrow. The same motion tomorrow will come up. And then if it is approved,
When you bring it tomorrow,
yes,
make
sir.
a copy of the clauses
Yes,
and distribute to members.
We'll make available all the clauses to members. And then the bill itself. And then if members are satisfied, then we'll put it for...
Okay, that's fair enough.
So,
Yes,
so motion,
Yeah.
step down, sir. For the
resolution. Sir, these clauses, there was actually not a position on these clauses before we closed when we considered this bill. The decision was, let the Committee on Rules and Business revisit clauses 7, 8, 10, 21, and 22. Sieve them, make a comparison whether it has conflict with the existing laws of the security agencies. What they are going to present to us tomorrow is not only the content of the above mentioned clauses, but the position that make them to be convinced beyond reasonable doubt that these clauses are supposed to be recommitted for reconsideration, not resitting, because there was no decision. So as far as we are concerned, let them come with position of the existing law that has been suspended by the Committee of the Whole for clarity, and what actually convinced them that it has nothing to do with the existing laws of the security agencies.
yeah, I get and the same thing. Yeah, that Honorable Toby was saying. All right, matter step down. The sixth order of the day is concerned of a report on the Committee of Federal Capital Territory and Federal Capital Area Councils and ancillary matters on a bill for an act to authorize the issue from the Federal Capital Territory Administration Statutory Fund Revenue Fund of the Federal Capital Territory Administration account the total sum of 607,952,023,580 naira only, of which the sum of 76,569,940,857 naira only is for personnel costs, and the sum of 127,603,382,310 naira only is for overhead costs, while the balance of 403,778,736,413 naira only is for capital projects for the service of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, for the financial year commencing from 1st January and ending on 31st December 2022. Honorable members will recall that the report was laid on Tuesday, 29 November 2022. Honorable Garba to move for its consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Honorable Abdullah Idris Garba, member representing Kwantagora, Mariga, Moshebu, Ushishu of Niger State. I rise to move a motion on the consideration of the report of the Committee on FCT Area Council and Auxiliary Matters 2022, FCT Statutory Appropriation Bill for an Act to authorize the issuance of the Revenue Fund of the FCT account. The total sum of 607,952,023,580. Mr. Speaker, the sum of the personnel cost is 76,569,904,857 naira is for personnel cost. The sum of 127,382,382,940 310 naira is for overhead cost, while the balance of 403,738,736,413 naira is for the capital budget for the financial year commencing from 1st January, ending of 31st December. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable, our duly sworn-in member from Plateau, Honorable Mahmoud Al-Khali, please second.
Just North Federal Constituency, I stand to second the motion heavily moved by Honorable Abdullahi Kontagora. I so move. I so second.
Thank you very much. Those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Wait, I'm not sure. Those in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The nays have it. So, Honorable Garba, please approach the chair. The ayes have it. So who's going to consider the reports now? Deputy House Leader, can you please move that the House resolve to the Committee of Supply?
Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, I am Comrade Peter of Hyonzoja Akwatisi in MNI. I represent the great people of Akoko Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I move that this House do dissolve to the Committee of Supply to consider report. I so move.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, my name is Mohamed Tahir Munguno. I represent Martin Munguno, Ganze Federal Constituency of Borno State. I second the motion that the House do dissolve into a Committee of the Supply.
Those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. House hereby resolves the Committee of Supply.
Chairman Tertiary Education, the new Eze, take your seat. Honorable Rurum, Chairman Pensions, take your seat. Chairman Petroleum Upstream, Chairman Navy, former Chairman Rosseptico, Honorable Yunusa, take your seat. Honorable Serki Adar, Chairman Upstream, take your seat. Chairman Navy, Chairman Upstream, Chairman Northern Caucus Upstream, Honorable Seki Adar, take your seat.
All right.
Honorable Moma, take your seat. Chairman FCT Judiciary.
Okay, we're in the Committee of Supply. In the interest of time, do we go straight into the clause by clause, or does Honorable Gaba, we just go straight into it? You want Honorable Abdullah to take a bow? You should take a bow. I don't understand this interest. Even Nole is saying, carry go. Abdullah, what's going on? Clause 1, which is the issue as carried. Clause 2, release of funds. Clause 3. Clause 4, environment. Clause 4. Quarterly review. Clause 5. Clause 6. Clause 7, concurrent expenditure. Are you sure? Short title, clause 8. Okay, let's go to the schedule. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to 20, 20 to 30. All carried. 20 to 30. 31 to 39. Wow, this schedule is very long. 39 all the way to 45. I hope you are looking at them and looking at them very closely.
Chairman Insurance and Accrual Matters. Chairman Insurance and Accrual Matters.
45 to 55. You are sure? Huh? Mnoli carried. That you are carrying 55. You are okay with it? Okay. 55 to 65. 66, 67, 68, 69, 70. Any reservation from 70 to 80? Anybody? 80 to 90? Any reservation? 80, 88, 89, 90? 90 to 102. Any reservations? Any objections? Any observations? Observation? Yes. Honorable Benson, what's your observation? Which one? Which part of the schedule?
I'm asking him where his deputy is, sir.
Huh?
Honorable Blessing.
Honorable Blessing, is she here? Who carried?
She's
You want to
mourning.
carry
She's
Honorable
mourning.
Blessing too? You've carried Blessing. They say Honorable Blessing has been carried. Okay. Part. I think we've done the part 1. Okay. Explanatory memorandum carried. Wrong title. Where's that? That's what I was looking for. Sorry. Where is that? I can't find it. Okay. Sorry, so we left out capital expenditure. That is part B of the schedule. Clauses, sections 1 to 50. 50 to 102. And then the explanatory memorandum carried. Title carried. Okay, that is okay. That's Committee on Supply, correct? Can we quickly suspend our rules so that we can do one of the 2 matters on Committee of the Whole and then adjourn the rest? We have about 6 or 7 matters on Committee of the Whole. We'll just take 2. The roll of the dice, and I will not go in order of the way it has been sequenced. I'll just pick the one that I want to pick. We leave maritime, Honorable Gagdi zone out. We leave. Is comrade here? Comrade, you have like 5. You have 5 reports. We can't take all 5 now. Honorable Julius is here. We must take Honorable Julius. No. We have to take that one. The only problematic one here, I think, is Honorable Gagdi. Yeah? It's not here. Okay, let's, Honorable Side, move that we suspend rules so that we can revert and just take a committee on whole and I can preside over that.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, distinguished honorable colleagues. I remain Honorable Osai, Nicholas Osai, and I represent the good people of Ndoko-Okwani Federal Constituency. I rise, Mr. Speaker, to move that all necessary rules be suspended to enable us to take 1 or 2 items in the Committee of the Whole. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Even though we will not be taking yours today, Honorable Gagdi, please second.
Due respect, Mr. Speaker. My name is Yusuf Gagdi. I represent the good people of Panshinkanke Kanam Federal Constituency. I rise to second a motion ably moved by my elder brother, Honorable Nicholas, asking the House to suspend all necessary and relevant rules to enable us revert into a committee on a whole for consideration of some items. I so second, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Those in support, please say aye. Those against, say nay. Ayes have it. Where's it? Hospitality and Tourism Bill. Whose bill is that? Or whose report is that? Why is he here? Whose report is that? Okay, so we move on. I don't know who's. Okay. I see. It's the same one. That's all they've brought now. Where are the other? Where are the other matters? See, they're all the same. Hospitality bill. See, hospitality. Huh? It's all the same. See, you gave me all the things you gave me are the same. Where are they bringing them?
They are bringing them.
How many do you have here?
Just 2, 7 and 8. But this is a German support. This is what? Just one clock to the first one.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the others. Which one is this?
And this is 8.
The next order of the day is consideration of a bill for an act to establish the National Institute for Hospitality and Tourism for training, certification and registration of hospitality, travel and tourism personnel in Nigeria. And for related matters, honorable members recall that the bill was committed to the Committee of the Whole on Tuesday, 22nd November. The leader will move for its consideration. I don't think he's here. So we're going to miss that one. Where are the reports for the Committee of Education, please? Tertiary Education, where are they? Looks like we're not, the Secretariat, you're not organized. We'll be sitting down here and says, where are the reports? The next report to be considered is that of the Committee on Tertiary Education and Services on a bill for an act to amend the Federal University of Petroleum Resources (FROM) Act, and for related matters, I invite Honorable Aminu Suleiman to give the synopsis of the report.
Honorable Chairman, honorable colleagues, Chief Whip, the House is not in order, Chief Whip.
Honorable Shaulu. Honorable Shaulu, take your seat. Honorable member, just not take your seat. Honorable Shaulu, are you coming from your banana farm?
Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, sir, honorable colleagues, this is an establishment, this is an amendment to the Act setting of the Federal University of Petroleum Resources, (APROM), and for related matters. Honorable Chairman, honorable colleagues, this bill was subjected to the normal stakeholders' engagement, where committee received input from members of the general public and the academia especially. Recommendation that are before honorable members are product of general interactions and benefited immensely from professionals in this sector. The committee, through me, have the pleasure of presenting this team before the committee of the whole, so that, as expected, decision will be taken in respect of the clauses as in trend here. I move, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Chairman, sir.
Clause 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, explanatory notes. Okay. What's the next one? Okay, whilst you are on your feet, Honorable Chairman, Education, let's quickly go to the fourth report, which is to be considered, which is that of a Committee on Health Institutions on a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of Federal Medical Center, Okigwe, Imo State, and for related matters. Oh, okay, that's for Honorable, Pascal, and I know he's not here, so. Oh, you have come in? Okay, you weren't here earlier. Okay. And for related matters, I invite Honorable Pascal Obi to give the synopsis.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, my noble colleagues. Mr. Chairman, I'm Honorable Dr. Pascal Chigozie Obi.
There's something wrong here. Pascal, you were not here earlier, and so that report was not presented. So I don't know if it's procedurally right that will now be considering a report that was not laid before the House or presented. Because we called out for you, we asked for you, and then we now stepped it down. That's what we did, we stepped it down. So to now go straight into consideration for a matter that's been stepped down.
It's not on the record, sir.
Huh?
It cannot be on the record for consideration.
It is not on the record for consideration. Yeah. I don't know what do we do now? Till tomorrow, Pascal? Unfortunately, procedurally, there's no way. I'm trying to see how we can maneuver for you, but there's no way we can do that. So we'll take it tomorrow. You'll be here for the laying of the report, and we'll take the consideration tomorrow. All right. Which one is next?
Don't have 10. Don't have 12.
Chairman Tertiary, they don't have the rest of your reports ready, unfortunately. That's what I'm asking about now. The rest of the reports on tertiary, they're not here. Tomorrow? That's so bad. The chairman education works so hard. He's very hardworking. He's produced 4 or 5 reports and none are here for consideration. That's not good at all. Chairman, do you have any comments? Thank you. Ever hardworking chairman. So please make sure we've done the laying of the report, so it's just for consideration. We've done it. That's what we did, Abi. Okay, the last is where is it now? Where's 7? Okay. I don't see it. The last bill for today to be considered is the bill for an act to establish the Nigerian Maritime Trust Fund for the purpose of training, provision of security equipment and related facilities, enhance the skills of personnel of the Nigerian Navy and for related matters. I invite, the leader is not here to give synopsis, I guess. Honorable Gagdi.
My name is Yusuf Gagdi, sir. I represent Panshinkanke Kanam Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, the synopsis is simple. The bill was passed and concurred by the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, but Mr. President requested, based on the advice of the Attorney General of the Federation, that Section 4, which is the sources of fund of the bill, should be adjusted, particularly in paragraph A, which I quote, an amount constituting 1% of the total revenue accruing to the Federation should be deleted based on the judgment on the police trust fund that they wouldn't want those things to continue unabated. So the committee recommend that in section 4, 1A of the bill, which is the 1% deduction from the Federation account, should be deleted from the bill. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You have something? No, he was just giving a synopsis. Honorable Momo.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I was just looking through the, I just realized, Mr. Speaker, that this is an establishment bill, but Section 15 of the NIMASA Act already provides for a trust fund, a maritime trust fund. So I don't know this particular one, if it is supposed to be an establishment bill or an amendment bill, or what defect it is trying to cure. Because if you read through the line, it says to enhance the skills of personnel of the Nigerian Navy of the Nigerian Navy. So I think the intent of the sponsor of this bill is to enhance the training and the skilled personnel of the Nigerian Navy in isolation from other players in the maritime industry. And also with the fact that Section 15 of the NIMASA Act has already provided for the Maritime Trust Fund. So I don't know how we're going to join those positions. Yes, there's an existing provision.
In the NIMASA Act,
yes.
Section 15.
Yes.
Clerk, please find me Section 15 of NIMASA Act. Deputy Clerk, whoever is there. Now, is that, because this is security trust fund, may be different from trust fund.
Mr. Speaker, it says Maritime Trust Fund. It did not say Maritime Security Trust Fund.
No, it says Security Trust Fund, is what I have here.
To establish Nigerian Maritime Trust Fund.
What I have here is Security Trust Fund. Okay, Chibo.
Mr. Chairman, from my understanding, we are not here to debate on the either long title of the bill or the narrations of the bill. What is presented before the Committee of the Whole today in this bill is a single item, not to be added, but to be deleted. Because in the past, we have already passed this law, this bill, and it went for assent. Then in the process, there was an observation maybe by the Office of the Attorney General, who is the custodian of our law, or by the relevant stakeholders in the industry, that this 1% from consolidated revenue should be deleted. I don't think we are here to discuss whether...
I agree with you. I get your point. But listen to what he says. So does that mean that, I'll come to you now, Honorable Gagdi, that if we've made an error, genuine error, and we've duplicated a law, does that mean that we cannot at any point in time, when it's so fundamental, when there's already something in the books, now we go and say, oh, with hindsight, this already exists. So it shouldn't go for assent. Because what will now happen, if he's right, I'm not saying that he's right, that the president will now return it to us, that this is a duplicated whatever, which will not be good for the National Assembly. So, I don't necessarily agree with him, but just the general principle that if we've already passed something, we can still correct it. That's what, if it's fundamental. If it's fundamental.
Mr. Chairman, sir, aside of the fact he mentioned, we have no problem with NIMASA Act. But if you read the sir.
I'm listening.
If you read the provision of the NIMASA, does that trust fund provide for the welfare and the strengths of the Nigerian Navy? That trust fund is meant for NIMASA, and NIMASA is not established to provide equipment for the Nigerian Navy to stop the stealing and the various maritime activities being made. If there is a provision for trust fund in NIMASA law, you will discover that the trust fund is meant to cater for NIMASA as an agency. So this is called Maritime Security Trust Fund, sir, because the Constitution of Nigeria donates the maritime environment to the Navy. The security of the maritime environment is vested in the hands of the Nigerian Navy, the entire sea. That is why the trust fund is seek to establish and provide for the acquisition of equipment for the Nigerian Navy, not for NIMASA, because Navy provides security, maritime provides safety. So I cannot see any relationship between a trust fund that is established for NIMASA to provide for NIMASA, in other way providing for the security of the Navy.
I think what Honorable Gagdi is saying, and do you understand? What Honorable Gagdi says is that this bill is narrow. It speaks only to the Navy. Whereas the NIMASA bill speaks to maritime workers. And NIMASA does not take care of Navy. Navy is a security agency. Navy is a security agency. But I've looked at Honorable Isiaka, do you have a contribution? From your seat now. So I think, and I've also looked at section 15. Maybe you quoted the wrong section. Maybe it's there somewhere, but it's not in section 15, eh? Oh, it's 17. Functions of the Mines Inspectorate. Okay, so I think for now, because I can't find it here in the NIMASA, the conflict. So, Honorable Isiaka, you had a comment?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Ibrahim Ayakuli Isiaka for Ewiko Federal Constituency. Since all our laws are working documents going concern, while aligning with Honorable Gandhi, my fear after the final passage is where and how there won't be any conflict in the implementation between the Nigerian Navy and NIMASA because of this title, Nigerian Maritime. Once that can be cleared, I'm sure we won't get confused. Thank you, sir.
That is why you have, that's why you have a short title and a long title. The long title is what you look at. And that deals strictly with the Navy. I think the distinction here really is that this one deals only with the Navy personnel, which is a security agency as opposed to maritime workers. So we'll go to, there's only one clause anyway, to delete one clause, clause 4. Carried? Leader, whip. Oh, sorry, there's one more, Honorable. Oh, wow. Okay, 10 is now available. Is Comrade still here? He left. Okay. Prof. Where is it? Here. Where is this one? Because we're going on back. Senior secondary school. The last report will be the report for consideration of the Committee of Basic Education and Services on a Bill for an Act to repeal the National Secondary Education Commission Act, laws of the Federation of Nigeria, and enact the National Senior Secondary Education Commission Bill to prescribe minimum standards for senior secondary education in Nigeria, manage the National Senior Secondary Education Commission Fund, and for later matters. Honorable Julius, just very quick, very quick synopsis. And you don't have to, we can go straight to the clauses.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you for this opportunity. This repeal and reenactment deals with the National Senior Secondary School Commission. That is SS1 to 3 plus the 112 unity schools. Essentially, what we are asking for is a 1% of CRF to the commission, and the other items are as prescribed or as outlined in the bill. We had the stakeholders meeting with all the necessary stakeholders, including principals and teachers and unions, and the conclusion of the interaction is what is essentially contained in the bill.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
There are about 31 clauses. Clause 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 to 25, 25 to 30. Are we sure? Where is it? 32 is the last. $31. Short title, 32. Schedule, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, sections 2 to 3 of the schedule. 1 carried, 2, 3. Four, 5, 6, carried. So the question is that clauses 1 to 32 stand part of the bill. Those who support say aye. Those against say nay. Ayes have it. Leader, please can we revert to plenary?
Mr. Chair, my dear colleagues, I'm Comrade Peter Ohiozoje practicing MNI. I represent the people of Akoko Federal Constituency. I move that this committee do revert to plenary to report progress. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, Honorable Chairman. Okay.
On the minority side.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Gideon Goni. I represent Kaura Federal Constituency. I come from Kaduna State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I rise to second the motion that this House do revise itself into to report progress.
Those in favor of the House adjourn to plenary, revert to plenary, say aye. Those against say nay. Ayes have it. Honorable colleagues, the House in the Committee of the Whole of Supply, consider the report of the Committee on Federal Capital Territory and the Capital Territory Area Council and ancillary matters and approve clauses 1 to 8, the schedule part A and B, the explanatory memorandum, and the long title of the bill. The House also in Committee of the Whole consider the report on a bill for an act to establish the Nigerian Maritime Trust Fund for the purpose of training, provision of security equipment and related facilities, enhance the skill of personnel of the Nigerian Navy and for related matters, and an approved clause 4 and the long title of the bill. House also in the Committee of the Whole considers the report of the Committee on the Tertiary Education and Service of a bill for an act to amend the Federal University of Petroleum Resources, FROOM Act, and for related matters, and approve clauses 1 to 9, the explanatory memorandum, and the long title of the bill. Also, the House of the Committee of the Whole consider report of the Committee on Basic Education and Services on a bill for an act to repeal the National Secondary Education Commission Act, Cap N73, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and enact the National Senior Secondary Education Commission Bill to prescribe minimum standards for senior secondary education in Nigeria and manage the National Senior Secondary Education Commission Fund and for later matters, and approved clauses 1 to 32, the schedule, explanatory memorandum, and the long title of the bill. And finally, the House, in the Committee of the Whole, consider the report of the Committee on Health Institutions on a bill for an act for the establishment of the Federal Medical Center, Okigwe. Actually, we did not consider that. That was stepped down to tomorrow. Let me at this point invite the House, the Deputy House Leader, to move that the House adopt the reports on the recommendations of the Committee of the Whole. House Leader.
Thank you once again, Mr. Speaker. Comrade Peter Hiozoje Akpati in MNI. I move that this House do adopt the reports of the Committee of Supply and the Committee of the Whole. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Sorry, second up, please. Whip.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, I second the motion that the House do adopt the reports of the Committee of the Whole and Supply.
Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Honorable colleagues, please remind others that we'll have an executive session on Thursday morning. Leader, please move for adjournment.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I am Comrade Peter Hiozoje Akpati, MNI. Mr. Speaker, I move that this House do adjourn till 11 o'clock tomorrow, Wednesday. I so move.
Honorable Attacker, please second. The great Attacker, please second.
Representing Ijebu North, Ijebu East, Ogun Waterside Federal Constituency, I'm an Ijebu man from Ogun State. I stand to second the motion ably moved by the Deputy Majority Leader. I so second, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Those in support of adjournment till tomorrow, 11 a.m., please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. House adjourned, stands adjourned till tomorrow, 11 a.m.